Thank you for joining You, Me, and a Cup of Tea. We have a really special guest today. Her name is Krystal Ben. So thank you for coming on the show. Krystal is an entrepreneur and she has multiple streams of income. She started as a hairstylist, created Hair Fetish, which I know a lot of y'all know about. Very on and popping. Check out the wig. Like, my girl is killing it. She also does real estate and a lot of other things. So we're super excited to have her on the show. So thank you for coming.
I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, this is good. Like, I love her energy already. Like Krystal is just, it's just radiating off of her. Like, I know y'all can see it and I feel it. So
it's shining here.
It's shining. It's shining. So we're really happy to have her. And we're just gonna get right into this. So
thank you for having me.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming. Let's talk about what childhood was like for you.
I grew up in Flint, Michigan, but it was a city inside, like right next to Flint, which is called Beecher, but it's not on the map, so I don't want them to get mad when they see this. Like, you from Beecher? But it's a small area. It's like family oriented. It's mostly black people. We may have had like 2 people outside of our race. Literally, it was. Wow. I grew up with everybody that looked like me, and we all had the same struggle. So it was like nobody was better than nobody. We literally all had the same struggle, you know. But it was dope growing up. You know, it really was dope growing up. Like, looking back at it now, the kids don't have the opportunities that we had far as like being outside, really enjoying one another and really having a good time with each other.
Yeah. Like, do you feel like there was like a lot of like crime and stuff, or like what?
Oh girl, yeah, we're from Flint. Oh. It was like one of the worst cities to live in America.
Look, and I'm not even like
it was worse than New Orleans. Like when Katrina came and the people had to come up there, they blended in with the people.
Ooh, Lord.
Yeah. So it definitely is one of them places that's the crime is there, but you got to think about it, it's mostly black people there. You know, it's not really a whole lot of jobs there. So you got a lot of your hustlers, you got a lot of your people that, you know, do hair, mom and pop stores and stuff of that nature. So
working in people's homes.
Yeah. So of course, you know, the crime rate is going to be a little bit higher there. But, you know, it really wasn't bad for the people that lived there, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because y'all were like a family.
Yeah,
like,
it was
y'all
more
connected
like family.
with each other.
Yeah, I didn't really realize we was in harm's way until I moved away.
Right.
Like, when I moved down here and then I would hear the stories, I'm like, dang, and then I go back home, I'd be scared. They'd be like, what you scared of? Girl,
you live here, like, what you mean?
This don't happen to go for it. So, yeah, it definitely was different as far as like crime and stuff like that, but it was still all love, and
it built you.
It really did. It really did. It made me aware of my surroundings. That's where I kind of learned how to be street smart, you know, and learn different things and maneuver around. Like, I can go somewhere and read the room. I can tell who do what was what, you know. So I do really feel like it built a lot of my character.
And then, so you feel like you said there wasn't really like a lot of opportunities. Everybody was doing what they do. So, like, what kind of built you to be, you know, what you are now? Like, what made you decide, like, oh no, I'm not finna go work. You know, I'm not. I don't feel like going to college. Like, what was it like?
I kind of ain't had no choice because I wasn't good at school. I was class clown. But I went to school to have fun with my friends. Like, I really was not, school was just not for me. I was one of them kids where school just was not for me. It just wasn't for me. But I knew how to hustle. I was doing hair even when I was in middle school. So I already knew how to do hair. I grew up around a family hairstylist. My grandma, my aunties, all of them was going to a lady named Marie. And she had a nice salon, and we would always go with them to get their hair done. So I used to be so fascinated, like, how the heck did she make this, do that? Like, she was on back then.
You started from with A.
So she was back in the day when they was doing the crimps and gluing the tracks and stuff. Like, it was back in the day. Like, roller sets and perm rods. I was so fascinated with it that I really just wanted to do that. So every time we would go, I would just sit there and watch her, and then I would go home and mimic it. And even before then, I think I did. I cut my little sister hair off when TLC first came out with that Chasing Waterfalls video. My sister was like, I want my hair like T-Boz. So I cut one of her ponytails off, and I thought it looked like it. She did too until my mama came down there.
But she tore y'all up, huh?
Girl, I was scared to cut hair when I got in hair school. Like, I was traumatized cutting hair. She beat the heck out of me. But I feel like, you know, seeing somebody do it, and I fell in love with seeing her doing it, it made me kind of want to do it too.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Awesome. We are going to enjoy our tea by Herbal Health 360. It's the Tranquility. And we're going to just continue learning about Krystal and enjoying her company. What do you feel like? So you were in Flint, Michigan, and then you moved to Mississippi, Gulfport.
Mm-hmm.
When did you move to Gulfport?
I came here right after Hurricane Katrina.
Okay.
Which was a shock too, because I really didn't have anything here. Like,
yeah.
It was just like a Walmart open and a couple other stores. But my dad tricked me. He was like, yeah, come down here. It's not as bad as it look on TV. And then when I got down here, I was like,
boy, you tripping.
Yeah. But, plus I was able to go to hair school, and they had like, stuff like that up, like trade schools and stuff like that were available immediately after Katrina.
Right.
So it kind of worked in my favor.
So you started with hair school, and then like, what was the rest of your entrepreneur like journey? Like, when did you decide like this is gonna be for me? Like, you started as a hairstylist, and then you started doing wigs. Like, did you know, like, in the process of that, like, did you know you were gonna be at this point, like where you are now?
Yeah and no. Because I'm one of them people, like, I had all kind of plans, like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I wrote everything down, like, I'm gonna work at JCPenney salon, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And I had like a little book, and everything in that book I was able to like kind of check off.
Yeah.
But then there was a lot of things, how sometimes we want to do certain things and we might not see fit, but the Lord see you doing something different. It was like wigs, that was something that just happened.
Yeah.
Because I was going places, I was getting my hair done, and I just never liked it. It was like my hair was so fine, I could never get the volume look that I want. Right. Or if I walk outside in the humidity, the style is gone. So I'm like, this is not it. Yeah, so I locked myself in a room until I made this wig, and I thought it was gonna be so dope. Girl, I had my headphones on, I was jamming. I'm like, this is it. I was so confident.
Yeah.
Girl, I put that wig on, it couldn't even fit. It was like a little baby wig. I didn't realize that I sewed it too tight, So I thought it was just you sew something and you be done.
Right.
But that's when I learned, like, you gotta really do research. It really ain't just one of them things you just sew like a sew in and be done. You can't put the stitches so close. You can't do it so tight, So it took me a couple of tries to get it. I'm not gonna lie, like, I did it one time, but it was perfect. Girl, that wig was jacked up. It was still jacked up when I got done, but it was wearable.
Right.
Until I was able to do it again. And the more I did it, the easier it became. But it was definitely one of them things, like, I never thought I would be wearing wigs.
Right.
Like, I'm like, people think of their grandmas when they wore wigs back then.
Right.
So this was maybe
because it wasn't hot. Like, now it's hot.
Yeah, everybody went. They getting up to Sweet 16. So it's like, it's weird. Back in the day, Sweet 16, people wanted a car. Now they want a wig.
Right. Period.
So, yeah, that's why I'm like, okay. So, yeah.
Right, and I'm the person.
Yeah,
come on.
You need it, I got it. However you want it, I can make it.
Right. And so you started with wigs, and how did you know like you were onto something? Like, you know what I mean?
It was
like,
a feeling.
Yeah.
It was a feeling. I think my wow moment in the wig world was when I had a lady who came in who had cancer, and she had just lost her hair. And she had never wore short hair before. She'd never been without her hair. She had really long hair. And when her family came to me and was like, we got to figure this out. She don't know what to do. She's never had hair before. She don't want to wear the beanie hat. Can you make her a wig that looked like her hair? And I'm like, okay, I'm up for the challenge. Then I'm like, when I started thinking about it, I'm like, women, our hair is everything. Like, we look at that. That's like the first thing we look at when we see each other. We're going to look at each other's hair. We're going to look at the clothes. Everything got to flow. So I was like, okay, let me try to figure this out. And then I'm start taking everything in consideration. Like, okay, she's dealing with cancer. She don't want to look sick. And as soon as you see somebody with a bald head, you automatically know, like, they either got alopecia or they got cancer, or they got something that's making their hair fall out. Yeah. So when I was able to recreate her look and put it on and just seeing her confidence, it was like a light when I found me, like, yeah, that's it. Like,
this is it.
Yeah, if you can do this for somebody else, it's not about the money. The money gonna come. You know, it wasn't about the money. It was more so of like the fulfillment that I got from it that made me want to keep doing it. So
helping people.
Yeah, it just kind of made me intrigued with it. Like, I want to feel this all the time. It's almost like a high I got from it.
Right.
Like, I really want to feel this all the time. If I can help somebody, then I want to help them. Even if it's something as small as giving them confidence. And it may seem small to somebody, like, oh, her hair, at least she's alive. But
but that's the first
you don't
thing
know.
people.
Yeah,
that's
you
the
don't
first
know
thing
people's
people
journey.
see. Right.
Yeah, so that was the first wow moment for me, and then after that, I just kept doing it.
Kept doing it.
Yeah,
and kept doing it. And then, like, so when you ran into, like, you know, because I'm sure like the entrepreneur journey has not been easy, because I feel like for entrepreneurs it never is. You know, we want to wake up one day and just, you know, just have it all.
Be
you
rich,
know,
girl. Like that's gonna happen to us,
right? Like it's just gonna happen overnight, but you gotta work. Like you know what I'm
Yes.
saying. And I also feel like you have to like really, you have to really want it, and you have to really care about it, because you know at the end of the day, like anybody can get rich quick, but you know what I'm
Right.
saying, like you know, obtaining it and holding
Hold
on
on
to
to
it.
it,
And also just putting the right energy out in the world too.
Yeah.
You know, because if you're doing stuff and you're not really for the people, you know what I'm saying,
Who are you for?
Right.
Yeah, who you for? If
Right,
you're
who
not
are
for
you
the people.
for? Right.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I feel like
the people are what make you at the end of the day. The people are giving you sales. The people are...
you need the people.
Right, you need the
like,
people.
I don't care how far up you get, how much money you got, you still need the people.
Right.
You got a product, you need the people.
They got you there.
Yeah, like what you gonna do with the product if the people don't buy it?
Okay.
You know, so I definitely feel like for sure the people is what make the business, and people can feel when you're genuine, when you're authentic, you know what I'm saying? And they want to shop with people who has a story, because I really don't know anybody who got rich quick and still rich.
Right.
You know? So it's it's different when you got a struggle that go with it, or you've been through different things, you know what I'm saying? Compared to somebody that hit the lottery and win $1 million.
Right. And I talk about that. I talk about that all the time, you know, those people that be like, oh, like I started my business, I got, you know, $1 million in 7 months, this, that, and the other, but what's to say you're gonna have that for generations and generations to come, you know, because
but you get some people who have those type of stories and it may work for them.
Right.
You know, but that's like a 1 in a million story.
And I feel like the longevity,
and,
like, you know, going through it and, you know, going through that struggle, like really makes you appreciate it and makes you like hold on to what you get.
It does.
You know,
because people get attracted to the money, but they forget the struggle.
Right.
But they don't realize without the struggle, you're not going to have the money. You know what I'm saying? Because one thing with most people that have made it and that are making it is we'd have been broke before.
Right.
I know how I feel not to have no money.
Right.
I know how I feel to try to figure out where I'm going to stay at. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, like, going through that made me feel like I never want to feel that again.
Right.
You know? So, at that point, you know, I know, like, plan A, plan B, all these plans got to work.
Right.
Like, they got to work somewhere.
And I'm going to make them.
Yeah,
I'm going to make it happen.
You got to figure it out. But you get a lot of people who get blindsided by social media and they feel like they see your now. They don't know that you've been on this journey for 12 years.
All they see is the highlights.
Yeah, they just seeing the highlights. And I do try to post as often as I can, like transparent posts, so people know like I'm human too. You know, my life is definitely not perfect.
Right.
And when you start making money, that's when everything really start falling apart around you. You start losing friends. You will start losing family members. You will start having family members turn on you because they feel like, why you and not them? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Even though they seen you put the work in. So it's almost one of them things where you got to be mentally ready. A lot of people feel like they ready. You're ready for the money, but you don't really be ready for the mental that come behind it. You know,
it's a lot of work.
It is.
It's not easy. And I know, like, you and your husband, like, y'all went through the journey together.
Absolutely.
Like, James and I go through our journey together right now. Like, and it, you know, it's not always rainbows and butterflies. Like, it's not always easy days. It's, you know, going to sleep alone sometimes because, you know, we got to, hey, James got to get up and be on the computer. You know, I got to be, you know, making products. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, it can put a lot of tension, you know, on the relationship sometimes, but you have to like know in your heart, like that what the ultimate goal is and knowing that, you know, one day we'll never have to worry about these struggles again.
Yeah, you go through it now so your children won't have to.
Right.
And you also got to realize too, like, our story is funny because I remember before I started selling hair, we went to a hair show and I seen all these girls in Atlanta and their hair was so fire. I was like, oh, I gotta bring this back to the coast. Yeah. But we was wearing pack hair then. So it was like, you can get that one curl look with the zero hair. Right. Like, it's no way. So I had told him, he was my boyfriend at the time. Well, he was my baby daddy, girl. He was my baby daddy. Oh, but I was like, let's go in and put some money together and I'm gonna get these bundles and then we can do it together. He was like, how much you want to put in? I was like, let's put in $1,500 a piece. I just threw a crazy number out like that. He was like, nah, I'm gonna let you do that because I don't know nothing about no hair. So the first couple batches I got was trash. So he looking at me like, yeah, no, I'm glad I ain't do it. But then like a year later, he started seeing the money come. He's like, all right, baby, I want to invest in it with you. I'm like, like you ain't want to do it in the beginning, you know? So he was like, all right, I'm just gonna be your number one cheerleader. And at that time, my daughter was like 1. So it was like everything that I wasn't good at, he was. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to different parenting things and different things with our baby have going on, he is definitely there. You know what I'm saying? And he's showing me. And then it's like I'm learning from him when it comes to certain things. So it's like I feel like a lot of people forget, like when you're married or when you have a significant other, both of y'all not gonna be the breadwinner.
Right.
You're not gonna have two. It's gonna be hard. If you get two people that got the same hustle, the same drive, how are y'all gonna get along? Cause I be relentless sometimes. Sometimes I won't go to sleep unless my numbers are a certain thing. And you're like, all right, baby, the cover over there, the laptop over there, or, you know, I know you're gonna be up. And that may be crazy to somebody else. Like, why is this girl staying up trying to get a sale? But I get the sale. And once I get the sale, I'm gonna go to sleep.
Right.
You know?
But that's your formula. You know what I'm saying?
Just works
like
for me.
That's what works for you. And you know what, that gives you your peace of mind too, because at the end of the day, like, you gotta feed your family.
Yeah.
And
you
you
know,
know
like
what
a challenge too.
like,
So it's almost like if I'm one cell away from my goal, like what I'm not doing, I ain't got to hit this goal yet. You know what I'm saying? So, and he get me. Like at first he thought I was crazy. I remember one time I invested half of my account. And he was like, you gonna do what I said, man. The Lord told me to do this, I'm gonna do it. And the look that he gave me, I was like, he made me second guess myself. I went back in the car like, Lord, did you say this? Let me give me one more sign.
Did I hear that conversation right?
But I'm like, you know what, I'm not gonna question it, because anytime I got the feeling or if God told me something, I always acted on it. And there's one thing I always been on is like discipline when it comes to God telling me something. So I literally went into a project one time. The project was like $30,000 to do. I had only had in my account $15,000. So I took half that money out for the deposit to give to the contractor. And the Lord told me, like, go through with this and you're gonna be good. Your account gonna stay the same. And if not more, you're gonna be okay. So another person probably like, no, I ain't doing that because all I got is this.
Because all I got is this.
But it's like you got to be willing to take that risk. And I was willing to take it. And my husband was like, well, if it don't work out, I got enough money in my account. We'll be okay. You know what I'm saying? We'll make it work if it don't work. But it's like in my mind, I feel like it got to work. You know what I'm saying? I can't see it not working if God told me to do it, you know? And then by the end of the thing, when I say everything was what I told him it was going to be, he was looking at me like I was crazy. Like, what is you doing to get this money in your account? Like, you doing something else? I'm like, what? Like, what else could I be doing other than hair?
Right.
You know, so we laugh at it now, but it's like when it comes to different things, you got to be willing to take that risk. Like, if you're not willing to take that risk, then you're not going to get the gift behind it.
You know? Might as well step away right now.
You might as well, because it's not going to work out.
Right.
It's not.
Ooh, Lord. Man, I'm like, you know, because I feel like right now for us, like, we be having those, you know, like we have those feelings, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like in my soul, I'm like, ooh, like, you know, your fingers just itch. Like, your whole,
you know.
like, it's like a feeling like, dang, I'm on the brink of everything that I've talked about, everything that I've manifested, everything that we prayed about. Like, I'm on the, like, we're on the edge of it. You know what I'm saying?
And
like,
it's a feeling that you can't explain to nobody unless they know that feeling.
Unless they know.
And I tell people all the time, I know this sounds crazy, but I do feel like it's the entrepreneur spirit. And like, I can get around certain people and we can vibe all day. I can never met these people before, and we can talk all day about different ways to make money, what we did, what our struggle was, and how we gonna do this, and come up and bounce ideas off each other. And I've never met this person before. You know?
Then you get around other people and you tell them like, man, I'm gonna be a multimillionaire.
They look at you
like, okay, well,
like, okay, Kanye.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like you tripping, like that's not obtainable, but it is.
It definitely
is. I'm in rooms with people that, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's a big thing too. When you start seeing the people that's around you changing, like you're in rooms with people that are like doing this, and it's like, you know, like I'm it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm it. Like, so it's just wow.
It's like once you get around that's another thing people forget about is being exposed to the people that are exposed.
Right.
You know, that's why networking events are very important.
Right.
And we have them on the coast and very rarely people come up and show out. But they don't realize
they want to sit
in a room. You can't be in a room with the people if you don't want to come when you're invited. You know? So I feel like networking is one of the biggest ways to get fastest ways to get your name out there or to get your business there, because you can get next to somebody who may be a private investor, a silent investor, and you pitching them and telling them you don't even know you pitching them, but you talking to them and they're like, hey, I want to invest in you. Like, I believe in you.
But if you didn't show up and go, then you would have never had that opportunity. And I feel like that's like huge, like around here on the coast, like people don't see like the vision.
They don't.
People
they don't see it
the
until
vision.
it happens for somebody.
Right.
It's more of like, I gotta see it happen before it happens.
Before I'm a believer.
But they don't know that it's happening all the time and people ain't talking about
right.
it. You know, like people ain't finna go around like I'm a multi-millionaire, I'm doing this.
I'm moving
really talk like that. Like
right.
that's crazy. That's sickening. Like you wanna talk, that's bragging at
right.
that point. But if people are offering you to go these different places and they have business that have made millions of dollars in different things, or even not even, the thing is a lot of people get so caught up on the $1 million mark, that ain't even really the goal, really. It's longevity. Like if I have a business and I'm sustaining all the way through and I'm able to make $500,000 a year or even $100,000 a year and I'm able to keep going in a long route, I would rather have that than have a business that do $1 million this year and never do $1 again.
Right.
You know, so it's the longevity that a lot of people forget about.
That's it. And financial freedom too, like, you know, for your family, for your children. Like, you know what I'm saying? Especially if you have young kids and like you said, you hit $1 million 1 year and that's it. Like, what your kids gonna eat off of?
Because you can spend that. Because another thing people don't realize is just because you have a multi-million-dollar business does not mean you have $1 million in the bank. Because
a lot of it's in assets.
A lot of stuff is assets, and then you may have made that in your numbers, but you got to realize your product costs, your marketing costs, shipping costs. You got to pay your staff.
Shipping.
Then you got to have a little wiggle room for the people that want to do a chargeback and get the product and take your, and get the money too. So it's almost like, when you start making that money, you have to be wise enough to know, where am I going to put this money?
Right.
And start putting it in different places. And not
let it work for you.
Let it work for you. And not being too comfortable with one stream of revenue. Like, one stream is too close to none for me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I would at least want 2 or 3. But first, you got to master that one.
Right.
And then start, going on to the
next one.
Yeah.
Right. I like that. I feel like you truly have to. James tell me that all the time, babe, put your energy into one thing right now. And then, everything falls together after that. What do you feel like was like your turning point, like in your life? Like, when did all of a sudden you went from, decent sales to 5-figure days, 6-figure months? Like, what all of a sudden happened? Like, what move did you make?
One thing too, COVID. I just thought about it.
Yeah.
If COVID didn't make you a hustler or open up your senses to figure out, I gotta make this work. I just thought about it because at that time, I was a hairstylist. I had just retired. This virus then came around. I had just invested into a second location. We done spent thousands of dollars into this location. Now we got to close it down in 2 months. After having it up for 2 months, we got to close it down because COVID.
Like, what we finna do?
So then that's when I started getting smart. I was like, okay, if the people can't come to me, I got to go to them.
Right.
Let me get a vending machine. So I got the vending machine and I was like, I'm gonna put it on base because most of my customers came from on base.
Yeah.
I put it on base on Keystone. It's been doing numbers ever since, but now, they can't leave. A lot of them couldn't leave. So, a lot of the black girls was looking like, where can I get, they was coming for work wigs. So they wouldn't have to cut their hair or flat iron their hair all the time because the code was different for their hair at that time. So they was getting my Kim wig, which is a bob. So being able to put those in those machines, it kind of helped me in that machine. But also too, being able to take risks. Like when I first moved into my my last location, not the one that I just bought, but my last location, I had that set up for 3 people, and the business deal didn't go good. So that left me from coming from an overhead that was like $1,000 to going to overhead that was like $1,800, $1,850 by myself. So at that moment, I'm in my mind, like, either you're going to sink or you're going to swim. What you going to do? It's already set up. I had 3 suites, and 3 stations, 2 shampoo bowls. So it was built like an actual salon versus the one that I came from was only built for me. Like, it was accommodating for me and the wigs. So that really opened my eyes into being able to hire people in, and God really placed some really dope people in my life. Like, I met LaShonda, and she was coming from where she was working and she was scared to kind of quit. And I'm like, man, you got it. Like when I met her, I seen her work. I just knew she had it. Like she had it. But it's like, you got it, but you kind of scared. So she just needed that one little push. I'm like, Shonda, you got it. Then I met Chris. And when I met Chris, he was coming from a different situation. And I could understand he had like trust issues, and when me and him talk, I could understand. But I seen something in him. Before he even came and worked in my shop, he was coming to get a facial by Shonda. And I was just like, when I seen him, I was like, it's something about him. I like him. I don't know what it is. It's something about him. He just had his own unique look. I think he had like platinum hair with a platinum beard or something.
Yeah,
he just had a whole different look about himself. And I'm like, he got it. Like, he got it.
I just feel it about him.
Yeah, I knew it. And I was right. When he started working there and I started seeing him blossom. And it was like seeing people that was able to work at my salon and seeing them blossom into their own. You know what I'm saying? Like, now he has his own. Now Shonda has her own. And like, she's one of the first Black permanent makeup artists on the coast.
Right.
That's licensed. Like, that's huge.
That is huge.
You know what I'm saying? Because you don't really find it. And when she was trying to get her license, it was so hard. So like, to see people come around me and they're blossoming, not just because they're coming around me, because people believe in them.
Right.
And that's
they
the
work
main
their
thing.
ass off. Yeah.
They work ethic is crazy. So it was like to see people that match me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like we think of like soulmates, we think of our husbands, but it's workmates too. And I feel like they are my workmates. Like, we were able to work together. And then on top of that, I was able to train my sister, train my best friend that I went to hair school with. So like, our wig stuff is like a wig operation. Like, if you come in there, we have somebody coloring, we have somebody styling, we have somebody molding. You know, it's like, it's literally like
y'all got an assembly line.
Yeah, it's an assembly line, but I would have never thought that was going to be it. Going from the disappointment that it started in that building, you know? So I really feel like a lot of people be scared to take risks, but sometimes you just got to jump and just go. Yeah, you just got to go.
Wow, I'm so glad that everything worked out for you. Like, I know, like, that moment was probably like so scary.
Girl, it was terrifying because I was like, okay, I got bills at home.
Right.
I got 2 kids.
Right.
It was just like, you know, you start thinking all the things you have, but then you got to start thinking they're worth me trying this for.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's all on changing your mental and how you viewing it. You know, but I ain't gonna lie, that first day I was down because it was like the day before my grand opening that I realized it's not gonna work. And the Lord told me, like, Krystal, you gotta find another way. This is not gonna work. I'm telling you, this is not gonna work. And I'm like, anytime God tell me something, again, I'm gonna be obedient. I know this not gonna work. And no matter how much I love them, it ain't gonna work. But then God ended up blessing me with other people that filled in that spot and it worked. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's just more so in being ready to take that leap. If you never take that leap, you're never gonna know what's on the other side.
And I bet once you took that leap, like, it happened so quickly for you, you didn't even know what to think at the time.
No. And then right after that, then COVID hit. I'm like, damn, we gotta close the salon down. Like, what? Back to back. I'm like, and at that time doing hair, selling wigs and stuff, I was making good money off of it, but doing hair was like my bread and butter too, you know, because I used to be booked up for 6-7 months out, you know. So I'm like, if I can't do that hair, gotta figure out a way to make this make sense. And that's when I was like, I'm gonna start customizing the wigs as if I'm installing it on them, but shipping it to them, and all they have to do is just refresh it from shipping and go.
Right. And you give them the whole formula, like
everything is done. It's almost like the wig went to the salon, and when they get it, they just it's cut, it's tinted, it's parted, it's styled how they want. It's literally the wig done been to the salon.
You know how much energy you put into that?
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
I love it.
That's beautiful. But you're getting everything that you deserve now, and that's so beautiful to see your entrepreneur journey do that, because a lot of people do enter entrepreneurship, and as soon as things get hard, you know what I'm saying, they would have. Hey, anybody else, they would have been like, okay, like, you know what, this is it. I'm pulling my money out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's so easy to quit though.
It is.
It's so easy to quit, and I just feel like I ain't no quitter, man. I'm like, I ain't finna let this punk me out. Like, I have so much stuff and so many visions. I'm like, I know I can do this. So it's like the moment some don't go right, I know some gonna go right. You know what I'm saying? It's like every time before a big break, something always goes wrong.
Something always goes wrong.
And it'd be like, oh, okay, now I gotta figure this out for a whole nother view.
But that's like when you're on the edge of something. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, like if it was easy, it would be everybody would be doing it. Right. And you know, God is really like trying to see like who his strongest warriors are gonna be.
Absolutely.
Like, so, you know, it's not gonna be easy, and it's not an easy journey.
It's not.
And you know, it's so hard to, you know, stay positive when you don't get positive feedback from something, you know, business, life, love, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you don't get positivity back from something, like, it's like, damn, like.
But it's like one of them things I feel like in our culture, we so used to holding on to things, and we feel like we can fix everybody and we can fix everything. I had to learn that going to therapy, like, Krystal, you can't fix everybody. And some people, you need to let them fix themselves first.
Yeah.
So you got to understand when you're going into the business, everybody not going to like you.
Yeah.
It don't matter how nice you are, how sweet, how pretty, what you got. They just ain't going to like you because you're you.
Because you're you.
And then half the time, those people, they don't like themselves. So it's like, you can't make somebody like you that don't like themselves.
And then you're doing 10 times better than them. And, you know, what's that? You know, they already hating on themselves low key.
Yeah, so they looking at you like competition instead of the key. Because I feel like if anybody doing better than me, and you don't even have to be doing better than me, but if you're wiser than me, you got to be able to take that step back. I need to be in
a room with you.
Yeah, I want to be in a room with you. And people get so misguided because they feel like, oh, I only want to be around people that got money, or I only want to be around people. Status don't make you. I know a lot of homeless people that got more sense than people that's living in the best home. Right. You know what I'm saying? They just had a messed up situation, but you got to be teachable at any point. You can't be that person that feel like you know everything, because you don't. You don't. Nobody do. Right. You know, so I feel like being in entrepreneurship is so many things that people don't talk about, and that's the teach, because it's like, you know, you see this glamorous lifestyle. Everybody driving Benzes now. Everybody got bags. Everybody got the Rolexes and the Louis. But does that make your business successful? Right. It doesn't. Right. It looks successful.
Y'all might be living off of credit.
But then that goes back to our financial problem too. And it's been proven back in the days, like, back when they wasn't even making money, Black people were still buying nice clothes to look a certain way.
To look a certain way.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like
that's like been ingrained.
It's in us.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we live above our means. Like, for what? Like, why?
Because we want people to view us in a different light. But once you realize you are the light. Yeah. It don't matter what clothes I put on. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna make that outfit. It don't matter what car I'm driving. I'm still going to get to A to B. Right. You know, once people realize, like, material things don't make you. Right. You make them. Right. You know, so I guess once they get past that, even in the entrepreneur world, because you get some people who feel like, oh, I've been in business a year, I can't even buy a Louis bag. That's your goal, to buy a Louis bag. Like, girl, like, you know, it's so many other things that you can be doing. But if you're not around people that's doing it, and all you see on social media is people wearing the nice things, you want that too. Right. You know, so that's why I feel like
you feel like that's what success is. And I talked about this with Nigeria, that, you know, my measuring stick for success is different than yours. Absolutely. Like, you may think that, you know, success is one thing, and I view it totally different. Like, you know what I'm saying? Some people do want to go get the Louis bags, the Lambo truck, and all this stuff. With that. Yeah. And nothing's wrong with that, but that might not be my success. As long as my kids are clothed, and you know what I'm saying, I've got positive income coming in, you know, different things like that. You know, it has to work for me. Absolutely. Just like what works for you works for you. So,
and making sure, my thing is too, while we talking about Louis bags and Lamborghinis, get a CPA before you buy all this extravagant stuff, because there's no way you're spending $200,000 on a car and you don't have somebody balancing your book, letting you know what you can spend, what you can afford to spend. Because that'd be another reason why we have so many businesses go bankrupt. They're spending the money before it even comes. Like, your business,
you're projected to make that.
But
what if you
ain't made it?
Right.
Yeah. So having somebody in your corner that's letting you know financially what you can and can't do. Yeah, like, hey, you can go ahead and spend X amount of, you know, money this month on whatever, you know, just leave this amount or whatever. Having somebody to kind of help you with your financial stuff is key whenever you're in business, because again, we didn't go to school for accounting. We don't know, you know, and making sure you in line with the IRS and all of that good stuff. So it's a lot of things that businesses do. I was one of them too. Like, shoot, 3 years ago, I had to pay them like almost $12,000. I had somebody doing my taxes. I didn't know no better. I just paid in whatever she told me I had to pay. And whatever was done until I got an actual CPA who went in and cleaned everything up and found stuff like, no, you got to do this, you got to do that. Right. You know,
and got you on the right track.
Got me on the right track. So that's very vital to do, because I would hate for somebody to make $3 or $4 million and then they're not okay with IRS.
Right.
And
not
they
okay
come
with
and
IRS. They don't even have your books right. Like,
they're going to add interest. They're going to add everything you can think of, because they want the money too.
Right. And you in a bad situation.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do. Right. You can't argue with the IRS.
Hey, you better get them folks
You got to give it to them. They're going to come get it if they need it.
Yeah, they are going to come get it.
Because I'm like, they pulled up something like, this was a long time. I don't even remember what I worked there. What happened? Okay.
Right.
But
yeah, you need somebody to have all the paperwork ready for you.
Yes. Yes. For sure.
Absolutely. I love that. And I know you have Marquita.
Yes,
she's on it. Yeah, shout out to Marquita. I know she's on it with everything. So
and she keep me together because she be like, but she do tell me I'm one of the cheapest people she ever met in her life. She's like, you is cheap. I'm like, I know.
But you trying to keep that for forever. Like
I spend my money on food.
Yeah.
Like I'm one of them people. I love an experience and I love food. Like I'll travel, I will eat, but I just don't buy. I ain't into certain stuff.
Yeah.
Yet. I'm going to just say yet. Because I ain't into it yet.
Yeah. I'm not saying I won't be, but it's just not a priority
just
right now.
It's not a priority.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you came on the show. Like, I really, like, you're really an inspiration. Like,
thank you.
Wow. Like, I mean, like, you really, like, a lot of business owners, entrepreneurs, like, really have the goal to, like, make it and create, like, you know, whether it's financial freedom, and not even just, like, financial freedom, but just freedom in general. Like, being able to, like, have your own schedule, be with your kids when you need, like, your kids, your husband, your family, like, whenever you need to be, like, you know, off on how, like, you know what I'm saying? Just having that freedom in life to, you know, navigate and
do
enjoy.
Different things. Absolutely.
Yeah, travel, enjoy, and actually experience life and not just work and work. And
a lot of people forget in the beginning, it's sacrifice.
It is a lot of sacrifice.
Because like the first year of my daughter's life, I was there, but I was so busy hustling and working. But now I'm to the point where, you know, I don't have to do all that like that. You know, I still have to work, but I'm not like pumping. Yeah, I'm able to be there more. If she has something she doing, I can take off instead of how I was before where I had to be at work. You know, I had clients. I had to be behind the chair the whole time. So, you know, anything that you're doing with entrepreneurship, you got to remember, you know, sacrifice is going to come with it.
Right.
At least the beginning couple years.
It really is true. Like, we talk about it all the time. Like, you know, just sacrificing time with each other, time with family, like, you know, investment. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of sacrifices. But when you know, like, you know what you have going on is going to be it. Like, you got to just keep feeding into it. Like, you got to keep feeding into it and just, you know, allow the process to work for you.
Absolutely.
Whether it's a year, 2 years.
And sometimes it takes longer than that. I took a year testing vendors out. Like, I tell people all the time, like, it took me a whole year to find the vendor that I want and spent thousands of dollars. Like, it was never something that just happened like, oh, I looked up and found this vendor and it worked perfect and I just started my business. No. I had one company send me like 20 bundles of trash hair. Like, it was nothing I can do with it. Like, just throw it away. But then you hear people,
I'm not about to put my name on that.
But it's like, you do hair, you know when you feel it, something ain't right. You know, so it's like a lot of people miss that. Like, that's part of it. Like, you're gonna go through your ups and downs. It's not gonna always be perfect. You're gonna have to search different vendors. You gotta keep trying different stuff until it works. It's like a puzzle. You're gonna keep finding different pieces that might not fit that piece
until it clicks.
But just put it to the side, and then, you know, so it's one of the things where you're gonna deal with sacrifice. You're gonna deal with, you know, people coming against you. You're going to deal with losing things, people, loved ones. It's a sacrifice being to where you want to be.
Right. But it's so worth it.
It's worth it.
It's worth it. Let them know it's worth it.
It's definitely worth it. It's stressful. It's worth it though.
It is worth it.
But once you get to that point where you start understanding, it took for me to go to therapy and like for her to explain it, because I was one of them people where I just wanted to make everybody happy. You can't make everybody happy, even if it's people in your mini circle or family, friends, your customers. Some people are natural complainers. Some people are, you just can't make them happy.
Naturally not happy.
Yeah, and
have a lot of work for themselves to do.
So how can I fix that in one transaction? So I had to learn that, you know. But once I learned that, my life has been so much smoother because, you know, with having a business, you care about your people. You care about everything around you. But then you have to understand you only can control so much. And also, you know, caring about people so deeply can be so draining. It can. It can. And when it becomes that point, I'm letting it go, period. Yeah. If I feel like it's exhausting, once I come around you and my energy feels drained or it's sucked out, I'm never coming around you again. Yeah, when I say bye, I really mean bye.
Because at the end of the day, I got to protect me and mine.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
So, I really appreciate you coming on here.
Thanks for having me.
So please let them know where they can contact you, your business connect, and let them know.
Yeah, you can find me at I am Krystal Ben on Instagram. My website is www.hairfetishdolls.com. My name on Facebook is Krystal Ben, and y'all follow me. How about say like and subscribe? I ain't got no YouTube yet. But follow me on there and check me out, and make sure y'all check out the sales and deals that we have and all the different programs we do have for women that are losing their hair as well.
Absolutely. Make sure y'all shop with her, connect with her. Thank you for coming to You, Me, and a Cup of Tea. So please make sure you subscribe, like, and turn on the notifications.
Definitely turn them on.
Yes, turn them on. Cheers. We have weekly episodes, so please make sure you subscribe, like,